High above the golden mountains, where dragons painted the sky with blazing streaks of fire, lived a very small dragon with a very big problem. His name was Ember.
In Dragon Valley, fired their flames lit their strengths and young their defy. Ember, a tiny baby dragon, watched with longing.
Every morning the valley echoed with roars. Young dragons stepped forward, filling the air with massive bursts of flames. Then it was Ember's turn.
Ember, a tiny baby dragon, stepped forward, heart pounding. He inhaled deeply and breathed out with all his might. A tiny flicker escaped, no bigger than a candle flame.
Ember, a tiny baby dragon. He practiced every evening alone behind tall rocks, trying to roar like thunder, but his fire stayed small.
1 week later, a fierce icy storm swept into Dragon Valley. He sent 1 to 5 forward. Warm without his titan. One by one, dragons soared and unleashed enormous flames, melting ice and lighting torches. The sky glowed fierce. Ember stepped forward slowly. This was his moment. He inhaled deeply and released his fire. A tiny, trembling spark flickered into the wind and vanished. The icy walls stayed frozen. Ember lowered his head and flew away without waiting for whispers. Covered everything like silver dust. Everything was still. Everything was cold. Then Ember, a tiny baby dragon with shimmering scales that sparkle like embers. He followed the sound and found a small mountain fox trapped beneath thin, icy branches, shivering. It's not enough. The fox's burr grew weaker. The fox's whimper grew weaker. For the first time, Ember stopped thinking about being the biggest. He stepped closer and thought only about helping. Ember, a tiny baby dragon, leaned forward and released a gentle breath of fire. A small, steady flame flickered, not powerful, just warm. The branches loosened without burning the fox's fur. Within moments, the little creature was free. The fox looked up at Ember, a tiny grateful eyes and hidden courage. Ember stared at the melted ice. His flame hadn't been loud or massive, but it had been exactly right. Suddenly, Ember understood. His flame wasn't weak, it was special, gentle, controlled, precise. With new determination, Ember flew back toward Dragon Valley. The storm had worsened. Narrow cave tunnels were sealed with thick ice. The larger dragons tried to melt the ice, but their powerful flames scorched the cave walls without safely clearing the entrances. The elders looked uncertain, stepped forward.
I can try. Ember, a tiny baby dragon with shimmering mark glowing on his chest that said softly, This time his voice did not shake. Ember, a tiny baby dragon with shimmering slowly, focused out sparkling at his eyes. A small steady flame glowed against the ice. Carefully, patiently, Ember, a tiny baby dragon with shimmering scales that sparkle like embers, melted just enough to open the tunnels without harming anything inside. One by one, the trapped animals emerged safely. The valley grew quiet. Then cheers were louder than Ember, a tiny baby dragon with shimmering scales that sparkle like Ember heard. Not for the biggest flame, but for the right one. Ember, a tiny baby dragon with shimmering scales that sparkle like embers, very large, felt proud for the first time. That night, as the storm faded and stars returned, Ember stood at the highest cliff and breathed a tiny flame into the darkness. It flickered like a warm star of its own. And for the first time, Ember felt truly proud. Because he learned something important. You do not have to be the loudest to be heard. You do not have to be the biggest to make a difference. And you do not have to be like everyone else to be extraordinary. Proved it. Sometimes the smallest flame can warm the coldest night. And sometimes what makes you different is exactly what makes you needed. Thank you for watching Ember, a tiny turning fan. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like so more kids can meet Ember, a tiny baby dragon with shimmering sunset flowers that sparkle like Ember on his chest.
Subscribe and share so more friends can learn that being different is beautiful. Thank you for flying with Ember, a tiny baby dragon with shimwig dreams, little fire hearts. The end.